dangerously close together there.
Yeah, a little clash of heads right at the start of the round. Nasty bit of swelling around the left eye of Brett James. James comes in here having outpointed the Welsh veteran Keith Jones in Wembley in May, but hadn't boxed since the previous October, so perhaps he has a little bit on the rusty side. Smith comes charging forward, good right hand by Smith, and left into the ribs of James, and James for the first time in this contest in real trouble. David Walker stopped him in 4, can Sammy Smith stop him in 7?
James looks like he's looking for the trap door.
He's holding on, he's looking to see where Larry O'Connor is. Smith is not going to let him away, there's still 2 minutes to go.
James is holding on for dear life now. The kid's absolutely desperate, he needs to grit his teeth and try and fire back. Smith won't be denied.
James is boxing on very, very wobbly legs, and Smith now, instead of rushing, is doing the right thing. He's taking his time.
Well, there's not enough self-belief in David James. I don't know how much badly he wants this championship now. Smith's just gradually getting to him and breaking him down. Watch Smith will work the body and the head. He's not just going head hunting, he's punching to the body as well. When he gets in close, he looks to work the body, then he changes the game plan to the head.
This, without a doubt, is the worst one so far for James. He comes back with a little shot to the body. He's still in this contest. Maybe he's taken a bit of a breather, and maybe he's seen the best of Sammy Smith, and maybe he feels he can recover from that. I'm not altogether so sure. He really is puffing and blowing, Brett James.
Sammy Smith is yet to get his second win, this guy, in this round. Once he does, it'll be all systems blazing yet again. James hasn't thrown a punch back for about the last 30 seconds.
James under real pressure now. He is holding on, and he's puffing and blowing. The eye certainly hasn't worsened, but this is Sammy Smith's round without a doubt. And that may leave Brett James in a position where he has to take the last 3 rounds to win this vacant title. Smith is really battering away at him.
Full credit to both boxers. They must be incredibly fit. They haven't stopped throwing punches from the first bell. We're now going into the 7th round, and they're starting this round like they did the first.
Not much of a bounce in the step of Brett James as he makes that lonely trek back to the corner. They'll work straight away on that eye, but that was a very tough round for him.
You can step out, it's not shut up.
Well, again, the corner trying to encourage Brett James, who gives the impression sometimes that he doesn't have a lot left, and I'm not surprised after that barrage of shots thrown by Sammy Smith, who came at him and didn't let him off the hook. And I was impressed by Smith's willingness just to stand still.
Come on, Brett, yes, do this,
Well, that eye hasn't got any better. There's a cut right on the eyebrow itself to add to the one that was on the eyelid. And that, according to Duke, has put Sammy Smith 2 rounds ahead with just 3 to go.
Well, you know, James is he's talking himself out of the fight. The pressure's on, the kid's in his face, he's throwing plenty of shots, and he doesn't actually believe in his heart that he can win this. If he gets back to his boxing, he needs to get his confidence back, get back to his boxing where he can land cleaner punches, that'll give him his confidence, and he's back in the fight.
Well, Duke reckons that Brett James is going to have to win the remaining 3 rounds, or else stop his man to take the title he challenged for last October when he lost to David Walker in a 4th round stoppage. Sammy Smith will have gained great confidence from round number 7.
This has really developed into a war of attrition, a good fight between 2 hardened professionals.
Well, there doesn't have to be a Lonsdale belt at stake or any version of a world title or Commonwealth or European crown to bring out the best in 2 men who've come here to go about the professional business with some pretty serious intent.
I've seen world title fights, we haven't seen this amount of punches being thrown in any given round. wondering when the pace of this fight is going to drop and it's going to turn into a real sort of a slugfest.
James looked as if he was just about a spent force from the midway stage in the last round. We're at the midway stage in round 8. Good left from Brett James. Needs to get back to his boxing if he can. But he's allowed himself to get into the sort of contest that suits Sammy Smith.
The infighting, the close-up fighting suits Sammy Smith. He tries to get his head buried right on Brett James's chest and just punch. Gets a little bit untidy at times, but both fighters are just, they're going to punch themselves to a standstill.
They're both looking particularly weary. Solid right into the body by James, and Smith comes back himself. Good little exchange, both men landing.
These two could fight in a phone booth. The referee's hardly been called upon to get these guys to break. There's been no real infringements at all.
Great thing about men like Larry O'Connell is they know when to step in and know when to let it go. This time he steps in. Bit of a bang of heads. And Sammy Smith starting to look a little bit in the tired side, Duke.
Well, you know, it's all as most of these fighters can do now is just to, you know, hold their hands up and just to try to keep punching. They fought at an absolute ferocious pace. It's no wonder that they're both blowing heavy and sucking up large amounts of air.
Good jabbing by James. He may have left it a little bit late in that round, but it certainly wasn't as clear-cut as the previous one.
I've been inclined to score that round a draw. No fighter really dominated any round. And there was a lot of holding involved, a lot of head clashing, elbows, everything was going in, but there wasn't really any real clean punches landed.
Decent percentage of punches landed to punches thrown by Sammy Smith in that last round. Well, it's still there for James, but to make sure he's certainly going to have to win, we reckon, the last couple of rounds. I don't know whether Smith is going to allow him to do that.
240 punches, Sammy. Going to work him over. Going to work him over, Sammy. Swallowed once already. Come on, let's go.
Well, look at grim determination in the face of Brett James, and indeed in the face of Sammy Smith as they come out for this, the penultimate round. I think we're going to get 3 more pretty torrid minutes, and let's see what these two are made of.
Brett James has come out this round boxing, surprisingly boxing. He came out behind a nice succession of jabs and followed that up with a nice little combination.
Yeah, the tape's come adrift, nothing to worry about. Smith has to go into a neutral corner, and they'll just either snip that off or wrap it up in another piece of tape. Gives them both a little breather. I think they'll be pretty grateful for that. It's hot and steamy here in dear old York Hall and Bethnal Green. And it's been a pretty torrid contest for the vacant Southern Area Welterweight Championship. 143 pounds, 10.5 stones the division. Back they come. James trying to get back to his boxing. Smith trying to stay in with his fighting. Better work by James with a good uppercut in that exchange.
Good uppercut by James. He's doing the more urgent work now. He must realise he's behind. He knows he needs a big run to turn this fight around, and that's what we're getting. That's what this game's all about. It's all about heart at this stage of the game. Good right hand.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Brett James. And again, a couple more of those, and he could turn this contest one. Smith is hanging on. The man in James's corner saying you've got to throw more punches. Smith got himself caught again. So James has landed with 3 decent right hands. James complaining that Smith is holding on the blind side of Larry O'Connell. Good work by James.
James's round so far, he's landed his head and body. Nice little combination on the inside. He's just doing the right thing at this present moment in time to win this round.
Is he doing enough to win the contest, though? That is the question. Left once again from James as Smith comes in. Larry O'Connell's having to work a little bit harder himself. There's the right hand again. Lovely little combination by James. Caught his man with a sweet little left uppercut.
And it's Smith now starts to look tired and a little bit dejected. Probably feeling a little bit sorry for himself. He hasn't landed as many shots, hasn't had any real success in this round. He's shipping a lot of punishment.
Again, that right hand followed up by a left. Started off by a couple of little tip taps. Better work now by Brett James. If he can win this round, and we think he is doing it convincingly, and the last, this is still very much in the balance. And a good last couple of rounds could make all the difference for James, and he's certainly produced a good one here in 9. Good.
This has been a very good round for James. He seems to have regrouped, got his mind together, started believing in himself, and he can box like this when he does that.
Well, they'll be very pleased with him. They gave him a verbal roasting or two. Good right hand once again by James. And he seems to have found that second win. That was perhaps his best round apart from the second. Jimmy Tibbs straight in, Alan Smith straight in there too.
Which round do you like? 4 or 5 shots, last round. I think last round, Sammy. Go on. Go on, Sammy. Go on, Sammy. This is the round, Sammy. Everything you got in this round, Sammy. You need it, Sammy. Come on, big round, Sammy.
Well, they're telling Sammy Smith, Duke, that he needs this round. You reckon that if he gets this round, or even gets a share of this round, he'll win it. But you know, there's some of those rounds I honestly feel were too hard to call.
Well, a lot of them were close, but I just made Smith, just as in some of the middle rounds, in this last round, you know, if he wins the last round for me, he wins the fight.
Straight shots, yeah? Everything straight, don't get in the way of him. Bum, 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 bum. Which round do you like? Okay. Come, son, which round do you like?
Well, the exchange of the winks, the touch gloves, it's been fought with great sportsmanship and with great heart and with a fair degree of skill and a huge amount of commitment. There'll have to be a winner. Larry O'Connell may well call it a draw, but I don't think that's his style unless he's 100% convinced that Sammy Smith in the blue and yellow and Brett James in the brown and gold have emerged completely even.
James has really come back to life these last couple of rounds and has really started to believe in himself that he can win the fight. He's boxing well at distance here. Should really start to try and turn it on though. You know, he's not going to win a fight in the last round by running away. He's got to really take the fight to Smith in his last 9 seconds. Got last 9 minutes of this closing round.
Well, in the middle of the contest, we felt that Brett James had almost run out of puff, but here he is, looking the stronger and the fitter of the two. Little cut now at the outside of his left eye, and that nasty little nick on the head of Sammy Smith is starting to ooze a little bit of blood again. Coming up to the midway point, lovely uppercut by James. Is that the defining shot in this contest? Is that the shot that's going to guarantee him the Southern Area title that he challenged for 9 months ago unsuccessfully against David Walker, who's at ringside, and Walker is really cheering him on.
Smith's just doing enough now in this round for me. Beautiful right uppercut he landed there. Now he's going back to the body. Smith's just looking a little bit tired while James comes on.
Well, I think James might just have been doing enough to win this. The last couple of rounds, certainly, he was a bit iffy in the middle. A minute remaining. Smith up on his toes. Good left hand from Sammy Smith. But is it enough?
An absolute cracking fight.
It really has been a great credit to these two. What a pace they've kept up since the very first bout.
It's almost a shame there has to be a loser. But there has to be a loser.
Well, there may not be a loser. I have a feeling Larry O'Connell is going to raise one hand. And I think it might be that of Brett James. But it's going to be desperately close. James piling on the pressure right at the end. A big finish by him could clinch it. Smith holding on. James has maybe just kept the best for the last couple of rounds. What a finish. Listen to the Bethnal Green crowd. James has got it. James has got it. Well, he will be mightily relieved and mightily pleased. Terrific last couple of rounds from the man from St Pancras. But what a terrific contest he was given all the way through by Sammy Smith. And had it gone the other way, well, there mightn't have been too many complaints. Well, they smile. They'll be friends again. It was a smashing 10-rounder, Duke.
Excellent contest, it really was. Unfortunately for Sammy Smith, he never quite got the decision. However, you know, that's what boxing's all about. It is a subjective thing, scoring. The referee is probably one of the best in the world in Larry O'Connell, and his decision is final.
Well, there was that contest, a finding punch by Brett James. He had to take one himself in return, but he came through, and rounds 9 and 10, I have a feeling, won it for Brett James.
Brett, you got it 97-94. When it finished, you were right next to the referee. Were you expecting to get the nod?
Yeah, I was, because I come on strong in the later rounds. In the middle rounds, I faded, and I'm quite known for doing that, but it's another thing me and Alan Smith have got to learn back in the gym.
You really had to dig there, didn't you, at times?
Yeah, he's, you know, come to win. It's a strong fighter, he'd done 10 rounds easy, you know. It could have gone either way, really. You know, be fair.
Sammy, you were saying that during the middle rounds it seemed as though it might be slipping away. Did you think then you could get on top?
At first, I'll come on very well in the middle, and I thought I was going to overdo him on the stamina. But he come back, credit where it's due, very good fighter, really good.
Were you surprised he stayed with you at the end there?
Yeah, well, honestly, yeah, my game plan was to wear him down and just take control at the end of the fight. I was planning on stopping him in the 7th. Never happened, that's it. Come back to fight another day, do the best I can.
Brett, what was your approach coming in? Because we read that your trainer had said if you don't win this one, there's no point in carrying on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a southern area, and you know, I want to move on to bigger things, after a few defences, of course. But, you know, if you can't win the southern area, what can you do? It's the first stepping stone, so, you know, we train hard, and me, Alan Smith, the help of George Boardman, Kevin Middleton, and helping my sponsor, Spartan, we all done it. And thanks to my promoter and manager, Eugene Maloney, for getting me the shot.
And you should come on bundles now for coming through this tonight, shouldn't
you? Bring me on bundles. You know, he's got the experience of 10 rounds now, confidence. Let's go. Let's get it on.
Good luck next time and well done.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well, we head to the super middleweight division now, and it's for the vacant Commonwealth title, featuring the British champion Matthew Barney against the African champion Charles Adami.